Thank you for bringing that beautiful melody to life. And those first two verses are actually in our unity hymnal, known as "This Is My Song." And I like it because it's considered to be the one universal song in our unity hymnal, because it speaks of our dreams, our hopes, what we value so deeply, with a recognition that all of humanity wants joy, happiness, life, peace, goodwill, cooperation. There's no other hymn in our hymnal that is quite so universal in its grasp. And so I'm grateful for that. Today, in our Annual Remembrance Sunday, I was intrigued with the daily word. It's always a delight because I don't plan my lessons by first reading the daily word, but I plan a lesson and intention and then delight in how beautifully the daily word harmonizes with the theme. And so the writers of Daily Word chose remembrance. And remembrance is an interesting word. Yes, we can remember and recall things in our distant past, for some of us very distant past, all the way to our childhood. And think about that. But remembrance has another quality. It's also to remember the greatness of life here now. And when I do celebrations of life or memorial services here at Unity South, I like to give just a little touch, because at least I grew up in a tradition that at a memorial, a funeral, a celebration of life, there's a great deal of reminiscing on the life of the one who has passed, and thinking back about the joy we had with them when we were children, or perhaps they were a teacher of ours. And we cherish those memories of the past. And this is good. This is good to cherish memories of those who had significant roles in our life, or maybe just a fleeting passage across our path of life. But remembrance also means to remember them now. Daily Word started off reminding us that in our teaching and our understanding, life is eternal. So it does not switch off like a light switch there in the back of the room when the physical body is laid aside. The life continues. And so to remember that soul as now existing, yes, they're not physically seen, but our soul has the capacity to connect, to know them, and to rejoice in their ongoing. Rudolf Steiner, who I often quote, talks that when a human being lays the body aside for their soul and for their eternal spirit, it can be experienced as a glorious sunrise. A sunrise. Their soul, their eternal spirit, is no longer confined to a physical body. And they become a great presence, not limited by time nor space. So what does that mean if you think about it logically? It means they are here now. Not in a way that our physical eyes can see them, but the joys, the lessons, the warmth, the hope, the confidence that they helped instill in our life while they walked with us on this physical earth they still hold for us. They still want to be a warmth and inspiration, a sense of deep meaning in our lives if we will remember them. Not only in the past, but remember them this very day, this very hour. And so this is what our ritual experience will be like after my lesson, an attempt to allow us to remember the very real presence and love of those we hold dear, but are no longer walking this earth, so to say. The Daily Word chose something at first I thought odd. They end every daily word with a scripture from the Hebrew and Christian scriptures. And they chose the words of Jesus when he enacted this divine meal with his disciples. And it became the center point of what developed as the Christian church even unto this day in the Eucharist, the Mass, or many of us Protestants call it the Lord's Supper. And that scripture is, "Then he took a loaf of bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, 'This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me.'" An ongoing remembering of our master teacher, our Christ. And I thought, what a wonderful model for remembering our departed loved ones. That whatever we do this very day, of course, Thanksgiving is upon us, that ritual meal we share, but really details of our everyday life we can do in remembrance that those that taught us, that nurtured us, that cared for us are still here present. And we can remember them in all that we do in life. I'll share a personal story. After my mother passed in 2011, I had an opportunity before me to go spend a year of study at the International School of Spiritual Science in Switzerland. And I was dragging my feet, procrastinating. I wasn't filling out the lengthy documents of application and also getting a student visa to be able to live and study in Switzerland. Lots of details. And so one morning, I said, "Mother, help me discern. Help me discern if this is the right thing for me to do at this time, and if so, strengthen me to carry it out." So I finished the documents, folded everything up neatly, put it in the package, and was off to the post office to mail it to Switzerland. And I thought, well, I better stop at my own mailbox, which was one of those out by the street. So I went out, got the mail, and there was one thing there, an envelope. I opened it, and it was payment for an investment my mother had that I didn't even know about. And it was an amount sufficient to cover my year of study in Switzerland. I took it as her strengthening and her focusing. Yes, yes, James, go forward, do it. Help is with you. And so I remembered her presence in that moment. Not, gosh, Mother was wonderful back when I was 5. She'd always say just the right thing. No, the immediacy of here now. Do what you're going to do in remembrance of those who love and strengthen you from the spiritual realm. Now, this weekend, yes, we celebrated and had a good old time and a wonderful, abundant meal on Friday night at our Halloween party. But Halloween, even like Christmas in many ways, has been highly commercialized. They say people are spending on Halloween decorations now almost as much as they're spending, maybe more, than on Christmas celebrations. It's become a big deal. And I was born in the city of Hallmark, so I know what it's like to celebrate, to send cards, to get decorations, and all of that. But it's also important to recall, what is this Halloween to me? Well, the time from the ancients is considered a time when the veil between this earth, all of you that I can see, and the invisible side of life, that veil is at its very thinnest at this time of year. And that's led to all kinds of customs at Halloween, of being sometimes frightened by apparent ghosts or powers we don't understand around us, and a lot built up over that. I kind of favor the Mexican tradition of La Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, because the intention is families go to cemeteries where their loved ones are buried. What do? Get on their knees and cry and carry on? No, they have picnics in the cemeteries. They have celebrations, all with the intent of saying, death, we laugh at you. You do not have the last word. Our loved ones are not gone forever. They've just left physical presence. But they are an eternal reality in our life. And I like that intention, that approach. Laugh at death and rejoice in life ongoing. They do all kinds of fun things. You have seen many of the decorations that are really what we might call a spoof of death, and realizing it does not have the last word. And then this same weekend, we launch into November 1st, yesterday, All Saints' Day. And today, November the 2nd, All Souls' Day. Well, is that the same thing? What are they talking about? No, it's a spiritual practice for your contemplation. First, in All Hallows Eve, Halloween, a recognition that life is so much greater than we see. My late brother, a doctor, a very logical man, told me toward the end of his life, and I was quite shocked, scared even. He said, you know, I've always said I was an atheist. But he said, I've come to realize life is so much greater than the things I can touch, see. There's so much more mystery there. And Halloween and its many traditions opens those doors. All Saints' Day, November 1st, is an opportunity to honor saints. That is, those that have gone before us on a spiritual path. Myrtle Fillmore, the mother of unity, the first major biography that was written about her was entitled by its author, Myrtle Fillmore, Torchbearer to Light the Way. I love that. So saints are those we have known in life, perhaps far back in history, perhaps during our own lifetime, that were spiritual leaders that led us forward in our understanding of the greatness of life. And then, of course, the church defines them in very specific ways. And then we get to All Souls Day today. Now this takes everyone in. Every soul who has left this physical life is to be honored and cherished and remember their ongoing presence, their ongoing love for us, desire to assist us in ways of strengthening our resolve, steeling our courage, helping us as they see the good path we can tread in life if we choose. So my words or suggestions are a reminder that life is all about choice. I received an email from a wonderful Unity teacher, Reverend Mark Hicks, this morning. And if you were at our last town hall meeting, you know that this November the 5th, is that right? November 5th, yes, is the annual meeting for our Unity denomination, our whole movement. And it's a big decision because we're looking and voting on bringing our Association of Churches and Unity headquarters, which publishes Daily Word, runs the prayer ministry, cares for the place called Unity Village, Missouri, for these two organizations to come back legally into one, to be unified as they were during the lifetime of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. It's a big deal if you know all of the details. But the letter I received from Reverend Hicks this morning was before you cast your vote on Wednesday, and this is applicable to all our lives. Before you make a choice, make a first choice. And that is, how am I going to approach, in this case, a vote? Tuesday is election day, another kind of vote. I told you about this remembrance ceremony. Decide for yourself. It's always your choice. Are the memories of those loved ones in my life now departed? Are those memories consigned to the past? Holding them back from their ongoing? Holding me back from releasing the experience of grieving? Or do I choose to look toward the future? They are going on in their spiritual quest. I must lead my life also. And so choosing before you make a decision how you're going to approach the decision. In hopefulness, in seeing the incredible potential before you, or are you going to devote all your attention to what was, to the way we've always done it? Don't bother me with change. Don't ask me to appreciate change. Don't ask me to let my grief go. It's mine. I want to hold it forever. In our ceremony today, a few instructions first, and it is your choice again to participate. After our meditation and as we focus on a specific individual in our life, I'll ask you to come forward, and we have a symbolic bowl of tears. I invite you to rinse your hand in it And if you're willing, say, any remaining grief I hold over the past changing, I am willing to let go so that I can see the beautiful potential of what is becoming. And that can range from releasing your grief over the passing of a dear one and letting it go so that you can see them and hold them in their true existing and their ongoing journey in this great creation of God. After you do that, go either direction on your way back to your chair. And there's a book of life on each side here. Write that individual's name in there, and then those pages will be sent to Unity's prayer headquarters, where they'll be held for 30 days, remembering this individual and that they are still evolving in the wondrous life of God. So for a moment, I invite you to turn your attention within, close your eyes if you choose. And as you approach this experience, I'm going to ask you to place the gift of your attention on one individual. Now, of course, we all have many people we cherish who've passed on, but I'm going to ask you to focus on one of your choosing. There's a wonderful phrase as you look at this symbolic book of life, everything that's ever happened. Think of that and ask yourself, who is my favorite chapter? Who is my favorite chapter? Who am I going to give my attention to at this moment? To honor them, to set them free from my grief, attempting to hold on to them and to keep things the way they used to be? Or my willingness to set them free and to set myself free? So as you're ready, close your eyes. And I'm going to offer you a verse that I've practiced many years in my prayer time for my parents. As I made that transition from my physical relationship with them to now a spiritual relationship. The verse goes like this: you are mine, and you will be mine, as the light of spirit now streams from your soul, filled with devotion for me. It will be your thought's noble power to seek in spirit worlds the love that faithfully I keep for you. And I hold this thought that though you lay down your physical body, you are still a spirit of love, of wisdom, of courage, working in my life. So take a moment in the silence and think of that book of life. Who was your favorite chapter? Hold one individual before your mind's eye. as you're ready, open your eyes. Come forward in the aisle if you choose. There's no formality in our procession. Come to this symbolic bowl of tears and say, knowing that you are standing with that loved one, they are with you here now. And say, I'm willing to release my grief as fully as possible, so that I can realize your presence in every moment and your ongoing existence in God's world. I celebrate your soul evolution. I thank you for the gentle pace and reverence with which you approached this experience. Although our ceremony is coming to an end, as our musicians prepare to take us into an energy as we leave this sanctuary, to remember that our prayer chaplains are always available on Sundays. Today it is Prayer Chaplain Sharon Rolofson wearing her purple stole. She'll be in the back here. You can simply say, I'm missing someone. I'm celebrating someone. Please pray with me. And she will. Our Unity International Prayer Ministry is available to you 24 hours every day throughout the year. You can call them or contact them on the internet. Perhaps someone has come to mind and tears have welled up, or there's an intense memory. Call Unity or go online, unity.org/prayer, and ask for support and say, help me remember this loved one is not gone, but truly present in my life. You can do this at any time. Thank you to our musicians as you help us shift our attention. And we turn now to our offering. And I